Today, we stand on the brink of history. Before us lies a challenge that will test our courage, our strength, and our unity. The odds may seem insurmountable, the enemy too strong. But let me tell you this, our will is stronger. I won't bore you with the rest of it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
but it was a huge, God, it got me going.
You're a tired boy this morning.
Yesterday was busy. Yeah, yesterday was busy. For context, I had 17 sales consultations booked in yesterday because yesterday was the first day of sales.
First day of sales, and
my only job.
Like we said previously, it's one of those, like, I'm more nervous now than I have been ever because we're actually documenting it. So there's that kind of, that responsibility of doing the best we can for our listeners, for you guys. So yeah, this last week, from Friday up until this point, and obviously we're recording this on Tuesday, it's been crazy. So the last time we would have spoken to you in the previous episode would have been the Tuesday before the Friday. The Friday is when we opened up the offer. And to just reiterate, we had our waiting list. We gave them a chance. We told them that the offer was coming on the Tuesday. The skip the queue email, which was basically allowing them to prioritize themselves to get the email on Friday an hour before everybody else. We sent that out on the Wednesday, and then the Friday we obviously launched the offer. Now, the skip the queue email, that one in itself was the biggest signal, I think, as to what was to come. That skip the queue email, again, like I said, all it is basically just saying, hey, the offer we told you about yesterday, I know we said we're going to hand that out at 8 a.m. on Friday, but if you want to get yours at 7 a.m. just because we've got lots of interest, that will basically guarantee your consultation and you'll be able to get it booked in and you'll hear it before anyone else.
That's the one I'm most nervous about. That is the one I am glued to the laptop for, to be honest. The Friday, I'm not as glued, but that skip the queue one, because it's a signal of intent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if we have a good number book to skip the queue, the chances are a high percentage of that is going to book.
Yeah. So for context, we posted that out at in the morning at like 7 a.m. or whatever, and we got like loads of people wanted to skip the queue. Like we had like over 50, I think, in one day.
Yeah.
Say they wanted to receive that email.
I think it was
consultation.
I think the numbers were like, I put them on LinkedIn. I think it was like 14 more than we did at Hadley. Yeah. Which is great going. Because I think we said if we can get to those Hadley numbers, we'll be really happy.
Yeah. And I never thought we would get to Hadley numbers. What we've always said, and kind of maybe it's hedging a little bit, but we've always said, we're here, it's our hometown, we grew up here, we know people. Like, there were some people that, for example, scheduled a consultation on that first day who already knew us and would be speaking about the studio, and they even knew our parents and things like this. So we kind of thought, okay, well, you take those people away from Halstead and what we left with. Whereas Halstead, I know we've had the added benefit of running ads at Halstead at the new location. But having that many people skip the queue and say they want to book in a consultation was huge for us.
It was.
And then, it was all a bit of a blur. All of these numbers, obviously, we like to be as transparent as possible with the numbers. But all the numbers now are like merging into one because we've kind of hit multiple records over the last week. So that email went out on the Wednesday, and then obviously the offer email went out on the Friday. So the first one at 7 a.m. going to the skip the queue list, and the second one at 8 a.m. going to the rest of the waiting list. And I got up in the morning, switched on the TV, switched on the computer. It was all dark, and I felt like Batman. I felt like Batman in like the Batcave, like planning. Scheduled those emails out, gave them one last check. By the way, the day before, all the appointment sequences were completely wrong. And I just happened to wake up in the night. We're doing this a lot at the moment, aren't we? Waking up in the middle of the night being like, we forgot about that, or we should do that.
Yeah.
And the appointment sequences were completely wrong. So I'm so glad on that Thursday.
Isn't it funny? Because that's something we do with clients when they go through this process like 5 days before. Yeah. We did it about 4 hours before. So we're not great leaders there.
No. And but anyway, the appointment sequence is all done. Scheduled the emails on the Friday morning, and they went out, and I did something like I did the big baller move. So like last time when we launched Hadley and we launched the appointments for Hadley, I just happened to be in the same room as my wife, eating my Weet-Bix minis. This time I've leveled up. I've got Greek yogurt. I'm slurping that in.
Damn.
Some blueberries. And I thought I'd go and actually sit in the same room as my wife this time on purpose. Because I was like, look, I'm going to put my phone on loud. You're going to hear these notifications.
I remember I love the build up to this story because last year we were talking about this exact thing.
Yep.
And I said, did you do the old Conor McGregor break out the red panties, baby? We made it. What colour did you say this time, Jake?
Not quite. But what did happen was, as predicted, luckily, because otherwise I'd been really embarrassed, like 7 a.m. came for the skip the queue list for that email to go out. And I think 1 or 2 minutes passed with nothing. And I remember thinking, oh my God, like what is going on? And then suddenly, like they all just started to come in and notifications on my phone were popping off. Got loads of screenshots like you have to in those moments. And like my wife was looking at me and I was looking at her and I had this like really smug look on my face. And she was like, you love this, don't you? And I said, yeah, I love this.
I sent you guys, before the 7 a.m. went out, I sent a text to you guys, the whole house, the team, at 6:30 a.m.
Yeah,
saying,
this was also very inspirational.
And anyone who can get to where this is, get the film this is from, you can shout it out in your car on your walk right now. But I said, today we stand on the brink of history. Before us lies a challenge that will test our courage, our strength, and our unity. The odds may seem insurmountable, the enemy too strong. But let me tell you this, our will is stronger. I won't bore you with the rest of it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it was a huge, God, it got me going.
And then I said, like, what would happen if no one booked an appointment? And now we had that in our WhatsApp conversation. But
hey, quick one from us. If you're enjoying this episode, you'll love our free weekly newsletter.
It's for current and aspiring studio owners who are looking for the latest growth hacks to sign up more members and keep them.
It's a quick 2-minute email covering the stuff we're testing in our own gyms.
So you'll be getting access to what's working today.
If you're interested, you can join 3,500 gym owners and go to thefitpreneur.com and subscribe.
That's thefitpreneur.com. Anyway, back to the episode.
I think we're very good at making kind of like it's obviously the stakes were high because we needed appointments booked in, but we're quite good at making those high stakes moments feel almost more high stakes. Like I put a post out on LinkedIn afterwards saying, I can't believe it. This morning, Jack and I launched our first offer for our second fitness studio. Oh, this was on the Friday. I woke up extra early, made the final checks and prepared to hit the send button. Heart pounding, shoving Greek yogurt into my gob. The time finally came. 7 a.m, hit send, 1 minute, no appointments. 2 second minutes, still nothing. Then ding, 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 ding. Notification after notification. 1 month of hard work and over 80 appointments booked in 1 day. In less than 2 hours, we filled the entire calendar. That's a spoiler alert, by the way, because we've just now revealed how many appointments. But I also put at the end of that, like, it's time. You rarely get these moments, do you, when you're operating a business, where it's just like the build up to something great and it all just happens the way you wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
So it's important to savor those moments. But yeah, as I said there, like we had in 1 day over 80 appointments booked into the diary, which completely slammed records from here.
Yeah, I think Hadley did 56 first day.
Yeah, and I think we did more in the first hour and a half than we did in that entire day.
Yeah, that is mad. We went to bed, and I think I went to bed, there was 86 appointments booked, and my calendar's like a sea of blue.
Yeah.
Very overwhelming looking at that.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the weekend, it was like 92.
Yeah.
Because obviously we dripped in some as
more,
well. Yeah. And then Monday we started running ads, and I don't think they're going to be on for very long.
No, well, you said as well, because our biggest constraint wasn't the amount of appointments that were getting booked in, it was the amount of free time in the diary. And I think 2 hours in, we ran out of time in your diary. Yeah. And you were like saying to me, Jake, like, we need to do something because there's no more time left in the diary. What do we do? Like, there's people trying to book appointments and they can't because there's no time in there. And I was like, hold up, this is the perfect opportunity. And you're like, what? Why? And I said, well, because we can use that. So we can send that email out to everyone, basically saying, which was completely true, that we've run out of time in the diary. There's so many people wanting to book appointments and there's no more time left. We're working our hardest at the moment to add way more availability. So we'll update you as soon as possible.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And just that email in itself was enough to then get those extra people booking in appointments when obviously we opened up the availability.
I mean, obviously we had over 80, I think we had 86 appointments first day and 62 booked this week.
Yeah.
So I've got 62 appointments this week. If you can see that on the camera, if you're watching on YouTube, you see blue, that's appointments.
And do you know what's funny as well? We finished September with 98 appointments booked in. And do you know what's funny about that? I'm so annoyed we didn't get 2 more.
Yeah. That's like Jordan Belfort when he's driving in his Ferrari and he said it's so annoying because it's not the same as Don Johnson's or something in some film, the same colour. Yeah, I think we're sweating over the small stuff there.
Yeah, £3.65 per appointment. So
do you want to go through the quick
Well, I think we kind of like mentioned them already, but I was just going over some numbers this morning, and like obviously because we've been running ads to the waiting list for the month, it ended up costing us. Yeah, we had like a £3.68 cost per lead over the course of September, and then a £3.96 cost per appointment. So yeah, we had a lot of appointments booked, and we spent, in terms of ads, we spent right here. Where is it? Yeah, we spent £388.50 total for all of September, because there was like a period within that we didn't run them because obviously we opened up the offer to the waiting list, so it wouldn't have made sense to add more people to the waiting list. But yeah, ended up with £3.66 cost per lead. And you had your first appointments yesterday.
Yeah, so we had 17 appointments booked yesterday. To give you the numbers on that, everyone, we had 17, 11 closed. No, so I'll go shown first. So 17, 13 shown, appointments shown. Obviously, we had one no-show and 3 cancelled. So 13 shown, 11 closers, 2 no closers.
Yeah, which is a solid first day. I think in one day we already paid 2 months worth of rent.
Yeah. No, it's it's more than that. Yeah. So it's really, really cool. A 90% close ish based off those numbers. For today, and I've got another 16 day tomorrow. So it's going to be it's going to be a really big week. I think projection wise, we're going to take in 60 spots like we did here. Mm-hmm. Just to make sure that coaches can obviously get in with the product. They're happy. We can slowly take up those numbers. Clearly acquisition isn't an issue again. So we're going to go 60 spots. I think they'll be taken by the end of this week, and we're going to fill it.
Do you think?
Yeah. I think we're going to. Yeah, certainly close.
Yeah.
Certainly close.
Again, you were thinking this podcast episode next week.
Yeah. What are we going to have to say to people? Yeah. And we will be honest, because we are. But 62.
Oh, you're getting.
I'm backtracking.
You're backtracking.
So 11. I think we'll be at 40, 50.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So by the middle of next week, I think we'll be full.
Nice.
Which is we're going to fill it hopefully a week. It's going to take us a week and a half.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think also we were just having a quick conversation this morning that I quickly want to highlight. We're very lucky in the sense that we have both of each other to fulfill on 2 very important pieces of the business, one being marketing, one being sales. And I think often when we're talking to other studio owners, they're even more impressive in the sense that they have to take on those 2 roles
really true.
By themselves. So what the beauty of what we have is that we're able to go 100% in on that aspect of the business. Yeah. So I will not touch the sales process. Likewise, you won't touch the marketing side. But what we're able to do is morph them both together really well. And actually, it got us thinking about high value tasks and what we should be focusing our time on in the business. And I think it's become more evident that you fulfilling, you actually sitting those consultations in terms of the launch, especially, and getting as many people through the door as possible. That is where I think you are 100% best served. So I think that's something important maybe for other studio owners listening, is sometimes it feels very natural to maybe walk away from doing your sessions because it almost feels like it's beneath you. But then what you've got to be extremely careful at doing is not walking away at the detriment of the business, where perhaps a lot of those people who continue to pay you is because they love you as a coach. And perhaps, people get into the wrong habit of outsourcing the wrong thing, where they think, okay, I'm doing 6 hours a week of coaching. I need to free up that time so I can focus more on the business.
Or I can focus more about content or sales.
Yeah.
When really they should be in the coaching and then outsourcing the content or the 100%. Sales. Yeah.
So their zone of genius is coaching, whereas their zone of genius might not be creating content or sales or operations or anything like that. So I think people are going to be very careful what to outsource, because if you look at us and you'd see your week, for example, the next 2 weeks on your calendar, and you'd see every single minute is taken up by consultations, somebody might look at that and be like, have you not trained up a sales team yet? What the hell? What's going on? But you've got to remember, this is 1 to 2 weeks out of the year where we would launch a studio. Yes, if we were looking to launch, 3-4 studios a year, it would be physically impossible for you to do that amount of consults. But I think at the stage we're at right now, it doesn't make sense for you to necessarily outsource 100% of those consults, because that is what is providing the most outcome as we speak, where we are right now. In the same way that it doesn't make sense for me to outsource ad creative or funnel building or anything like that, because that's where my zone of genius is. So I think it's just an important lesson that I've taken away from the last kind of 24 hours.
I think it's one that people listening to this will resonate with as well. Because so many coaches just default to, I'll replace me as a coach.
Yeah.
I don't even think anything else crosses their mind, when really you coach and you could probably fill other spots for less than you can with coaches, you know? So you need to be really smart and thoughtful about where to replace. Definitely.
Yeah. And
it's
that
a really good
means
point.
finding a co-founder or finding somebody to, take equity and operate in their zone of genius in order for the business to scale. Then that might be a conversation you have to have with yourself. But it's like, yeah, I think some people think they have to. There's always that saying of like working on the business instead of in. But if you're a coach who has spent the majority of their life, coaching other people on the ground, on the studio floor, then it might mean that actually instead of outsourcing that to somebody else in order for you to post a few Instagram reels, like figure out actually who can post the Instagram reels whilst I continue to deliver a great product.
Yeah. Here. Shorter one, but it's just to give everyone an update.
So obviously we mentioned about the goal in terms of the appointments. Like in terms of looking further forward, we've obviously got a coaches meeting on the 11th. So all of the new coaches at Halstead, and we're going to be meeting, and we're going to have dinner and just
I like
get the
it.
ball rolling.
I've been calling it inauguration, like when there's a new president in the United States.
Yeah, and they need to stand up on a chair and sing in public, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, they don't know it's coming yet. Okay, guys, we're joking. If you're listening to this, we are joking. Make sure you come. And then we're going out for dinner, which is going to be awesome. So yeah, we've got that on the 11th.
First session's on the 21st of October.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're running ads at the moment to the appointments. We're getting yesterday I think we had 3 or 4 come in from those ads.
Yeah, it's 11:45 today, and 3 appointments already been booked.
Yeah.
So
yeah, how long we need to run those for, I don't know, because remember, we've got over 80 still in the diary. So
and the plan for everyone, we have, I think there was 91 books still. So if we fill before that, everyone's appointment will be cancelled, and we'll put them on a priority list, and we'll let them know that next time we open up, they're going to get the message first. Are you happy to be put on the priority list? And then we didn't need to run ads to our second sales season last in Hadley, because we had that list there waiting.
Yeah.
So people were even more eager because they didn't want to lose out on the spot again. So again, it just adds all of that urgency. So we should have no problem when we increase numbers.
Cool. Well,
a quick shout out, Jake.
Yeah, go.
To our boy H, who's on the floor right now, where he belongs. There's his hand, people. He has, today is his first day as the revamped creative lead. He has been promoted. He is a legend. And he starts working with us on a permanent basis. Up to this point, he's just been popping in for the pod and coming to some other stuff as well. But he's going to take a more creative forward role within the business, which is really cool.
Despite the elevation of the role, we're keeping his feet on the ground, literally and figuratively, as we
by making him sit on the floor.
Yeah, so he hasn't quite reached the point where he deserves a chair just yet, but it will come. So all of the content you see on our socials, even some of the Fitpreneur stuff, Henry will be leading as of today.
First day. Cool, guys. Peace and love. Have a great week, and we'll see you again next.
See you later.
That's the pod.